Cool, welcome. First off, I just want to say you guys are killing the merch game. If you guys don't know, they brought pins, they also brought condoms, and these little pics that say dick, but they're dick pics. So I don't know if you guys have more. Yeah, should definitely
Yeah, we do have more.
Yes.
I left a bag in the lift, so hopefully we'll get that back for later. But come to our second screening, we'll have more there.
And I had some in my purse.
Yeah.
Free marketing by Lyft, right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
Cool. Okay, so first question I want to ask is, how did this all begin? How did you guys meet, and what was the journey to getting the doc started?
So I teach broadcast journalism at the University of Maryland, the Philip Merrill College of Journalism, and every summer I have a class, it's Intro to Multimedia. One of my students went out, they have to do a mini doc for the end of the semester, went to Pride to find a really interesting character, noticed this hair from like 10 blocks away, marched up to Muffy and kind of set up a story. And I was talking to my students after class one day. They asked me, besides teaching, what else do I want to do? I said I always wanted to make a feature doc. And Brandy said, well, why don't we do one on Muffy? She set up a meeting, Muffy told us about the court, and I was like, this is awesome. And so I took Brandy on as a co-producer. Her name was on the film. And I brought in some other students, and yeah. And that's history.
Great.
Yeah.
So Muffy, this doc, it provides a pretty intimate look into your life and your chosen family and the drag community that you're a part of. Did you have any reservations before the doc started, or at any point during? And if you did, how did you get over those?
When it started, I honestly didn't think there'd be a film in the end. In all honesty, I was a drag queen being offered to have a film crew follow me around for a year, so sure, paparazzi. And then 3 years later, he tells me there's a rough cut to look at, and I'm like, oh, what the shit did I say? And one of them I did have to warn my mother of before I actually had to watch the entire thing, because she's the one who gave me the name Laverne, and I hate them all the time. But their entire crew, made it very comfortable to just literally tell everything about the life. I mean, it is, to this day, difficult to watch. There are certain scenes where I now know where, after the filming ended, I did almost commit suicide. And it is literally people in the court. And the court chapters all over. I mean, we have a representative of the court here from Salt Lake City. Last night we were at the Ogden court. And it's literally two empresses one night in Las Vegas is why I didn't commit suicide. So watching those particular scenes to this day are very difficult.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Yeah, it means a lot to everybody. So Josh, if this was your first kind of entrance into the drag community, did you do any research or prep work before the documentary, or did you let Muffy kind of be your guide?
Well, the very first thing that I did was watch Paris is Burning, and kind of, I Am Divine. Being from Baltimore, like that was one of the first documentaries I threw on to kind of like prep me. I made my students watch it, but really,
then none of us were like any of that.
But like the court just opened their doors and kind of like let us in there. And I'm a former broadcast journalist, so I kind of understand like story, but doing something this length was totally new to me. So that was we just kind of jumped in and did it. Watched like a bunch of tutorials, read a bunch of documentary books, and did as much research as we could.
Okay, I'm going to open it up to the audience. So any questions that you all have? Yep.
This might be a silly question, but when you and all the film crew went to the coronation, did the court be like, you guys also have to come in suit and ties?
No, but we dressed up. We didn't wear suit and ties, but dressed up enough so that we weren't sticking out or anything like that. Didn't dress like wedding videographers. We weren't like dressed all in black to blend in, but just kind of dressed like normal people who would be going to a court event. Nobody wore drag for my crew or the shiny jacket or anything like that, but we did shirt and tie, and yeah.
I just want to thank you for making such a beautiful film about your family. And I wonder what's happened since the film finished and how the family is doing.
The family, we literally are still a very tight-knit group. I mean, we get together formally probably at least every 3 weeks, I would say. Informally, Shelby and her current partner and I probably see each other at least twice a week. Shelby bartends at my favorite bar. Sometimes we do shows there, sometimes we shows other places. So it continues to be literally, that is my family. I mean, my biological family is 950 some miles away from where I live. And work has gone really well as well. When I did this, I was a 13 in the federal government, and now I've moved on to being a supervisor. So things have been very fortunate in my life.
And that was the last time that Shelby did drag, was your...
Yeah, she literally, as I was doing my step-down number, took her eyelashes and her wig off at my table. And I'm looking up going, really? You couldn't have waited 5 minutes to go to the dressing room? Because she's literally was popping nails off in the middle of my step-down.
Cool. Yeah, in the back.
I'm pretty familiar with the area that you're from. How, your biological family, how are they with your life?
My biological mother, she's basically Debbie Novotny. At one point in time, my sister and I were scared she was going to buy a billboard about her gay children. My father, who's the head deacon of the Southern Baptist Church, he's very, very supportive of me. Not so keen about the whole drag thing. I make sure if I've got a drag event coming up when I'm on the phone that hey, by the way, Muffy's got an event in this city, or Muffy's got that, to kind of continually to open it up a little bit. So yeah, the family has been very supportive. Actually, a lot of my classmates have been supportive, other than the one that unfriended me. No, my mother wants me to come back to Marceline for a high school reunion in drag, and that is not happening. No, my sister Amy thinks I should be her wife for if we should go as a couple to the event. So the 33rd reunion is coming around soon, so who knows, maybe I might fall. Enough liquor and I'll do about anything. So.
I want to film that if it happens.
Yep, right here.
So I'm a crisis text line counselor, and one of our highest volume are young teenagers and young adults that have not come out. I want to thank you. I'm going to get emotional because I didn't know about your community, and the one thing that I know as a counselor is there's a lot of youth that don't have a community.
That's absolutely true.
So I'm very grateful for the organization that you're contributing to, and just to help expose people so they can understand the importance of being understood and being part of a community, and that you shouldn't even have to be in a drag community. You are a part of all of us who should be in.
Absolutely, and I think it was one of my taglines at the end of every show. The community is not spelled communified. You cannot spell community without the word unity in it. And if we could just add a little more laughter, love, and life in everyone's day, just a little bit, we can make the world a whole lot better.
One of the things that drew me to the film was just all the amazing work that you guys did in the community. I mean, I didn't want to just do a drag documentary about drag. So like hearing about the court and the academy was, that's when I was like, I got to do this.
And we do still, the Epilepsy Foundation has been critical to me. When my epilepsy went haywire, my neurologist had no clue what to do. And in order to get a neurologist that would actually take me that was really top-notch, I called the Epilepsy Foundation, and they then made phone calls and opened up doors. And so that's why to this day, I guess we'll be doing in March 22nd, we'll have the 7th annual Seizures Are a Drag. And usually my neurologist usually comes out and supports that as well.
Any other questions from the audience? So Josh, I have another question.
Yeah.
So you guys shot this in 2014, right?
Yes.
And it didn't premiere, unless I'm wrong, in 2019, right? Last year? Or,
yeah. So it was over the summer.
Right.
So, being a full-time teacher, it took me a long time. I did all the post-production, all of it by myself except for the music and the mixing. The music was a composer named Brenna Carroll. She's an awesome singer-songwriter too. Check out her stuff; it's amazing. But I did like the graphics with the photos, and I did all of it myself. So it took me a long time to get through post-production.
Cool. Yeah. And What's the so what do you feel like is maybe the biggest thing that you took away from kind of being immersed in this community and just over the course of shooting the doc?
Well, living in DC and outside of DC, like right around, most people don't know about the court and the amazing work that they do, and you hear drag queens, you think RuPaul's Drag Race or something like that, but like this is like a completely different type of drag queen, right? And the type of drag and what they use drag to do just kind of blew my mind. We had you guys raised $60,000
In total, at the end, it was approaching 70.
Yeah, for the community, and that's just amazing to me. Just like the amount that, and pretty much everybody I talk to has gone through something like you go through, or Shelby, and you kind of use that to give back to the community too, like funnel it into like doing good, which just was amazing.
Yeah. So have you guys stayed in touch, I'm guessing, after the doc, and sort of like what's been your relationship and contact after now you've been traveling with it and whatnot?
So we've been screening at a bunch of film festivals, so I've gotten a lot of Muffy time. And she fills me in about everything that's going on in the court, all the drama and everything, and so we've stayed in touch, and we're become friends. Yeah.
Are you guys gonna do anything else with this, with the court, or any plans to kind of continue any sort of documentation?
So I'm actually working on my next documentary right now, and that takes place in Baltimore. It is about it's about Baltimore City boys who use ballet to get out of Baltimore City. And we're just starting pre-production right now on that. And I will probably hit up Muffy for like fundraising tips and that kind of stuff for that.
She knows best, for sure. Are there any other questions from the audience? Okay, well, you guys, let's see, you have another, sorry, is there one in the back? Sorry, there you
I
go.
had a random question. Do you feel a difference in confidence when you're in drag versus not?
Definitely. As Daniel, I'm extremely reserved, introverted, and I also cannot stand. Twice a year, the Imperial Court does a turnabout show where all the drag queens have to perform as men. I look for an excuse to be sick that night. I despise performing as a man. Being able to transform into Muffy, all of the inhibitions are gone, and I can then portray a character, and hopefully, if I can make someone laugh that night, who knows? I might have saved someone's life.
I have another question. Which pronouns do you prefer to use?
I hate that question. They always ask that question in the modern. I really don't care as long as the pronoun's not fat. I prefer opalescent. In honesty, in DC, more people know me as Muffy than know me as Daniel. Just because I don't, aside from my close-knit family group, I don't go out a whole lot as Daniel. I'm out all over the place as Muffy. So I'm used to, just don't call me late for dinner.
And you all flip pronouns mid-sentence. Like, it's hard to follow sometimes.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, you guys have another screening coming up on Wednesday.
Thursday at 3:45.
Okay,
Thursday or Wednesday, whichever one of them. I think I may have said the wrong time, actually.
Yeah, no, it's Thursday.
Got it? Okay,
yeah.
Thursday.
Thursday at 3:45.
3:45.
That's why
Thursday,
it's
next
weird on my
Thursday.
back.
Thursday, 3:45.
Tell your friends, please come see.
Yes, yes.
And then you guys going to any other festivals lined up right now after Slamdance?
Not yet. We have a bunch in the fall. And
Yeah,
this is
We have New York. We have New York New Filmmakers, actually.
we're doing New Filmmakers New
Okay.
York, March 4th.
Yeah.
So we'll be screening in New York.
Come out for that.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you, Muffy. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
So much. If you guys drop your ballots, I think maybe festival assistant may be taking right over here in the front.
Ballots over
Remember
here.
to vote
Yes.
for audience.